Did Boruto ruin Sasuke's legacy? Today I just wanted to talk off the dome a bit about how Sasuke's grown as a character throughout the franchise. We're going to go through his highs and lows and try to determine if he's been disrespected in Boruto or not. You might be thinking, hey, why aren't you including Naruto in this discussion? He's also been nerfed, mistreated, and ruined in Boruto, quote unquote. And to that I say, hell no. Sure, there are a few things you can nitpick about adult Naruto, like his shorter hair or his weird behavior towards his family in the beginning, but overall, I think he's been treated really well in Boruto. He's kicked every single villain's ass, including the strongest in the verse. He got one of the coolest power-ups in a series that's really no longer even about him. His send-off was quite spectacular, and overall, I think he was just characterized really well throughout the story. All of his existence in Boruto has been a W, besides a couple glaring moments of weakness. But I don't think the same can be said about Sasuke. Before we get into all the details, I wanted to go back to the very beginning and just kind of briefly analyze how Sasuke's evolved throughout the story. So starting out, I'm going to be honest, I didn't really like Sasuke that much as a kid. I found him kind of annoying. Some would say, oh, Naruto was an annoying one, but I don't know, I just kind of generally related to Naruto, whereas Sasuke, he was just super edgy. He's, the lone survivor of the Uchiha clan. He wants to kill his brother. He's just on a path of revenge. And while that continues into Shippuden, I think Shippuden handles his character a lot better. So once he becomes a teenager, I think that's when I really started to like Sasuke as a character. His skills, his decision-making, his design, and just, I guess, overall demeanor was so much more cooler when he was an antagonist rather than being more of a protagonist side character kind of role with Naruto in Part 1. And yeah, fighting Orochimaru, getting his revenge against his brother, finding out the truth, and then of course seeing him mature into an adult in Boruto was really great to watch. He's a nice middle ground as an adult. He's not like super revenge-filled and edgy like he was as a teen, but he's not like this perfect guy, he still has his problems, and I like that. I like that he's still a flawed character even as an adult, but he can still pass on his knowledge to other characters. So let's actually talk now. We know about Sasuke, we know how he's changed as a character, but was his legacy ruined in Boruto? How are we going to determine this? Well, I just thought we'd go through some of his highlights. Well, starting off, I think his fight against Kinshiki was super hype. He got a lot of good development in that first manga arc. He became Boruto's student, he started training him, teaching him the Rasengan, kind of passing on his knowledge. A lot of people say that Boruto and Sasuke didn't get enough time to kind of develop their bond before all hell broke loose later on in the story. And to a certain extent, I agree, but I think with the nature of how the manga is monthly and there's really not much we can cram pack into 12 chapters a year, I think we got an adequate amount of Boruto-Sasuke time. So we get the Kinshiki fight. He's also in the Momoshiki fight, of course, two back-to-back, super good moments for Sasuke as a character. So far, first arc is over, he's became Boruto's teacher, he had some cool moments training him, and he had two really cool fights that he won. So as of right now, I would say no. Sasuke's legacy has not been ruined in Boruto. And if you're someone who just watched the Boruto movie and stopped there and didn't continue, then I don't think that's even a discussion to be had. But I think it's what comes after that, which is where people start to have problems. So moving on, the next arc is we'll just say it's the Kara stuff, so the Kawaki arc. I think his first major involvement is that massive L he takes against Jigen. I guess it's implied during the Boro fight that in between the Momoshiki arc and all the Kawaki stuff that Sasuke trained Sarada Chidori, so I'm going to put that as another W for Sasuke. But yeah, moving on, we have the Jigen fight. This is where the hate train came for Naruto and Sasuke. They were totally disrespected by Jigen. I think the anime actually does a better job at making it look like a fair fight, whereas in the manga, they just get absolutely dog-walked. Like, it's embarrassing. I don't think this is an L per se to Sasuke's legacy. I think more so it just kind of is there to fit the narrative of the story. Jigen is this ultimate villain that the two strongest characters in the series can't defeat. So like, how the hell are we going to beat him? I think that played in really well to the overall plot. Sasuke's legacy, I don't think it's destroyed. Did I say that wasn't an L? Maybe I should say that was an L. This is an L to Sasuke's character, but I don't think it really affects his legacy much. Moving on though, well, I guess Sasuke has a couple cool moments with like the Amado interrogation, but nothing really, I wouldn't consider those highlights. Next we get the Ishiki fight, where I think this is the first time I'll admit it, Sasuke is kind of just disrespected. In the anime, he is just flung around and like slammed into the ground. He sacrifices himself in like an added scene for Boruto to, I guess, be like a callback to the fight against Haku. Yeah, Sasuke is not given much respect in this fight. He's surfed on, I think. That's another scene that's crazy. He's also just put in a chokehold, and really his only involvement besides getting absolutely clapped is this moment where he has like a grenade or bomb that he shoots down, and it has mineral dust that obscures clairvoyant powers, so Ishiki can't use his Byakugan to look for Kawaki. That's it. That's all Sasuke does. And I'll admit that was a little frustrating, but again, the focus in this fight wasn't on Sasuke. It was on Naruto, and it was on Kawaki and their relation, and Kawaki and Jigen and their relation. Sasuke is just kind of third wheeling here. Sasuke didn't need to be there, but I guess narratively it makes sense for him to be there. After that, we have Sasuke versus Momoshiki, which is kicked off with a bang. You all know what I'm talking about. Rinnegan, some would say. Yeah. Do I think Sasuke losing the Rinnegan to Momoshiki is disrespectful? It's kind of crazy that he was just jumped like that. Character of his nature, his skills, his ability. It seems odd, and I don't blame people for getting upset about how it happened, I guess. But let's think about it logically. Sasuke was just in a crazy fight. He was just destroyed beyond belief. He clearly has no chakra left. He's deactivated the Sharingan. He's completely off guard. I guess you could argue he's aware that Boruto can change into Momoshiki, but I don't think that really crossed his mind, and you can see his guard is completely down. So for him to get like blitzed by one of the fastest characters in the entire series in the state that he's in, I don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility for that to happen, right? Naruto losing Kurama was handled a lot better. I think it was more of like a nice send-off and like a passing of the torch kind of moment, where Sasuke was like, oh shit, your eye's gone, bruh. But I don't think the Rinnegan is really a defining aspect of Sasuke's character. He just kind of got it in an ass pull during the war arc from the Sage of Six Paths. He didn't really like earn it. He also didn't really utilize it. He just kind of teleported here and there. So I don't think this affected Sasuke's legacy. If this was just such an iconic part of his character that was thrown away in such a bad way, because like I said, Naruto lost an iconic part of his character, but I think it was handled well. I don't think it was disrespectful. In fact, the anime's version was very respectful. It made me cry how good they did it. So yeah, Sasuke lost his Rinnegan. Did that ruin Sasuke's legacy? I don't think so. I still don't think Sasuke's legacy, quote-unquote, has been ruined. Let's move on. We have the Momoshiki fight. Maybe it's not like a highlight, but it is a cool fight where he doesn't necessarily win, but he doesn't necessarily lose. He's hit with a vanishing Rasengan, which is kind of like, oh my gosh, he's getting hit again with stupid stuff, but I guess technically Kawaki is the reason they defeated Momoshiki, because he lit himself on fire, but Sasuke held his ground. I think that was fine. After that, we have some cool moments with Sasuke and Boruto. He gives him his headband, he tells him when the time comes, if Momoshiki takes over. I think that's the implication that he's capable of doing it. And then, of course, we have the final moment in the prophecy arc with Sasuke, which I think is one of the best highlights his character has ever had. Him believing in his daughter above all else, even his own memories of reality, and putting his faith in Boruto, the rogue ninja. I loved his speech that he gave in the final chapter, like, what did he say? He essentially said, I don't trust you, but I'm putting all of my faith in Sarada because she told me that it's what I need to do. Prove to me that you actually are who you say you are by persevering, just like your father did. And, I hope I'm not making a monumental mistake. And I think that really plays into his character and just how he's evolved throughout the story and how he's got to the place he is now, where he's still kind of staying true to his roots of being a rogue ninja and sort of like a half traitor, if you will, but he's doing it for what he believes is the right thing. Back then he thought the right thing was killing Itachi, so he went rogue to search for power to kill Itachi. Now he's going rogue because he's doing what he thinks is the right thing to, listen to his daughter and protect the world. I think it helps that Sarada awakened the Mangekyo in that scene. I think things might have played out differently if she hadn't awakened it. Her awakening the Mangekyo with just pure, mental anguish should have set off some light bulbs in Sasuke's head. But nonetheless, I think it's really cool. And now on to the final L that a lot of people have been talking about was in the latest chapter. Well, I guess Yeah, the 2 most recent chapters. Sasuke getting turned into a tree. Treesuke. Is this an L for Sasuke's character? Yeah, I mean, this is an L. There's no way of avoiding it. It's better than what a lot of people were theorizing, which was Sasuke's straight up dead in the time skip. He's not dead. He's been turned into a divine tree. The implication, I guess, is that he lost to a claw grime, which, yeah, that's a little frustrating. We saw Chocho and Shikadai just kind of manhandling the claw grime, so I guess we don't know which claw grime he lost to. It could have been one with the Rinnegan, and of course he was taking on, like, I don't know, a couple dozen of them at once. But still, yeah, that kind of stings. Sasuke lost to a claw grime. I guess you could argue Code was there as well, but Code didn't seem like much of a problem, and I guess this is also a W. It's an L and a W, now that we saw the flashback. Sasuke sliced Code's eye out, which is kind of crazy. Remember, Code with no limiters is supposed to be stronger, I think vastly stronger was the word, than Jigen. Jigen is the same character that single-handedly dog-walked Naruto and Sasuke combined. So Sasuke is now weaker, he doesn't have the Rinnegan, but the same Sasuke was able to slice the eyeball out, like completely embarrass a character who is way stronger than Jigen. So narratively it doesn't make sense. I think I'm going to make a video on just how weird Code's character is and all the statements that just seem completely contradicted by the story. But just in the topic we're talking about here, that's a W for Sasuke. It's a W and an L. He sliced Code's eye out, but he took a huge L and got turned into a tree. But yeah, going back to our original question again, did Boruto ruin Sasuke's legacy? He's taken a lot of dubs and he's taken a lot of frustrating L's throughout Boruto. I think one thing to note is most of his moments are not from fights or like typical shonen highlights. It's not like he got a power up like Naruto or defeated a huge character. They're really just from him sacrificing himself, training Boruto, or just simply believing in other people, which I think is cool for the evolution of his character. But it's still hard to defend his treatment in Boruto. I think a lot of times he's been used for the greater good of the story, but at the expense of his individual character. I wouldn't call it good old-fashioned character assassination, but he's been disrespected a little bit. But at the same time, I can't discredit how important of a role he's played in the story despite his individual character not having as many highlights. He's still an important character to the story of Boruto, and I think he's grown and changed and evolved, and he's done cool stuff to the point where I think my conclusion is Boruto didn't ruin Sasuke's legacy. I think he was disrespected, and I'm not going to defend some of the stuff they've done, namely the Ishiki fight, Momoshiki fight, losing his Rinnegan, and then just being turned into a tree for the plot, but I still think Sasuke's legacy will continue to carry on throughout Boruto, and I think there's still more in store for his character despite him being stuck in a tree. I think it's going to be endgame stuff when Naruto is potentially taken out of the Daikokuten dimension and Sasuke is returned to his normal form. A lot of people are thinking endgame might be Shibai and everyone kind of reunites for a final fight. Don't know if that's really going to happen. It seems like Shibai is kind of, not really part of the story, just his DNA is relevant, I guess, but who knows. But yeah, I don't think Boruto ruined Sasuke's legacy. That's about it. That's all I wanted to discuss today. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Was Sasuke's legacy ruined in Boruto? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Smash the like button down below if you enjoyed. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so I'm really hoping we hit that soon. Drop a sub down below if you're new, as always. And that's about it. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I will see you next time. Take care. Peace out, boys.